on suspension slash handling mods for the old Mustang. And today we're putting on these Baer Bumpsteer kit. So basically what this is used for is to correct the alignment of your tie rods, right? So when you lower your car, the wheels are going to go up, and then your tie rods are end up going to go making a V-shaped rather than being level coming out to support your steering and everything. And it'll help you control the car much better rather than it being towed in and tight and pulling you around. It's going to be level and right where you need so you can control your car. We'll take a look at it when we get under there, but anyway, I got these here, this Baer kit, Bumpsteer, nothing really to them. This is all we're looking at. I got Baer because they were the most expensive one on the American Muscle website by like 30 bucks. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to spend the extra 30 bucks and get the best ones according to price, the most expensive that I can. Not a great reasoning. I bet they all do the same exact thing, but I always thought Baer was a cool brand, and here we go. I got them now and got my list of instructions here, what to do. So let's go ahead, let's get started. Okay, so after you get your tires off and your wheels off, go ahead, get under your car, take a look-see at your tie rod. There it is. Now, before we get started here taking things apart, we're gonna do a quick measurement. Measure from, see this, how there's a nut on the end? Right where that seam is to the midpoint on this, on your tie rod. So we're gonna measure from, the midpoint to that seam down there, and I'm getting about 5.5 inches. I think that's what most of you actually get too. But just make sure you're getting around that, I'd say. And that's the first thing you need. Then we can start taking it apart. Yeah, guys, looking under the car here, I'm under the front end. And as you see, there is our tie rod mechanism. There's the other one. And I just lowered the car. And as you can see, it, especially on the boot there's a big angle angling up the entire tie rod mechanism. So what we're doing is adding spacers in here essentially and beefing up this end, bringing it down so it's going to end up being roughly level with the control arm, right? Or my tape measure is almost. So we're going to bring it down from here to here, just so you guys know what's going on. Okay, so after you get your measurement from here to here, gonna grab a classic crescent wrench, and we're going to loosen that nut we were looking at earlier, that locking nut, before we even get going. So I'm gonna take this. Oh, almost just blasted my knuckles, people. But anyway, holy crap. All right, got this loose. I'm just gonna make sure it's loose. And now we can move on to operating up here. All right, next step. Dealing with the upper tie rod. I'm gonna take this here cotter pin off. Get your needle nose pliers, stick them in there. Pull that out. Grab an 18 millimeter socket. Boom, take 18 millimeter out. And now we're gonna grab a hammer and we're gonna start pounding this thing to try and get this down. Okay, everybody, just took the other side off. At least mine was. It was pretty stuck on there. Use some WD-40, use some of this stuff, spray it, and then you just gotta abuse it to get it out of there. That's the only way. So let me find my hammer and go to town here. Let's start with some right jabs. Loosened up. Next, go for the haymaker right on top, baby. Got it. Okay guys, we can now start looking at the actual Baer piece here. So first thing we're gonna do, take off this end little nut. Oh, just like that. Take off all these spacers, keep track of them. Oh, okay. Now we're going to just push this so it's flush here so that we can get our good measurement. Remember, mine was about 5.5 inches. So if we're looking midpoint, holy crap, mine's already about pretty much 5.5. All right, I gotta move it up just a little bit, just a hair, probably 1/4 inch, and I'll be good to go. So you want from the midpoint here to the end to be whatever measurement we had earlier. So all you do is twist this off, and you can see it gives you more space in there. So I'm gonna do another measurement. Boom. I'm almost at 5.5. So once you get to the measurement you need, you're going to take this locking nut and twist it so it is flush. I'm going to make that about finger tight on this mechanism, and now your length is good. You guys, when you go to tighten this, you can go ahead and just grip this, put your crescent wrench on, and make sure that that's really tight. All right, what we're going to do now is remove this tie rod end. It'll just twist right off. Boom. Grab your new one with your correct distance, and we're gonna go ahead and slide it on. Okay, so that's on. Now, take your new stud here. You guys see this? Yeah. So you're gonna take your new stud, put it up through the location. You're going to thread it on, and you're gonna go ahead and make it snug, not super tight, but just enough so that it ain't gonna be doing any wobbling around like that. All right, got that on. Now, what you're gonna do is take your spacers, your supplied, all of these different spacers, and you're gonna figure out how many to put on in order to make your tie rod pretty level here. So I went and did the other one already, and what I'm gonna do is put all of them on because that just looked closest to the installation instructions, closest to the thing to level. So I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna put on my spacers here, all of them. If this is the wrong amount, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure you need something just about like this to make it level. Okay, now I'm gonna take my 22 millimeter nut, put it on the end of all of this mess. If you were to have any extra spacers, you put them on now before you put this nut on. But to me, that looks the closest to level, and I do know I have a pretty low lowering on this, so. And then it's at least a few inches. I only have about this much gap between the wheel and the space up here, so I figure I need most of them, and that looked pretty good, so I'm gonna stick with that. And now I'm just gonna go ahead, tighten this all the way, tighten my top all the way, and also tighten back here that original bolt, that locking bolt back there. Just make sure that's nice and snug too. Okay, got that on. I'm gonna tighten my 19. Yeah. All right, that all seems pretty tight to me. I'm gonna tighten this right here as well. There we go. All right, just like that, everything is all installed. Gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, people, and here we have the finished product with the Baer Bumpsteer kit on, looking pretty fresh. Also got my other new components I put on, the sway bar right here, and I have, yeah, the new coilovers as well. So I just did all these handling mods to it, did not drive it, did these all at the same time. So I'm pretty excited to see the difference they'll make. So yeah, keep an eye out for the other videos, and soon I'm gonna be driving this thing and seeing how it handles.